Hello everyone, this is Professor Maloney, and today I'm going to be creating a Windows 10 demonstration video to help you understand what you're responsible for doing with the Windows 10 training exercise at the MindTap site. And let me tell you that this particular training is also going to be the basis for your Windows 10 exam, and your Windows 10 exam will be the first exam in this CGS 1060 class. As most of you know, I'm teaching several CGS 1060 classes. So I'm going to make this one demonstration video for all the classes, okay? But depending on whether you're a Monday only class as in terms of required classes, or a Wednesday only in terms of required, or a Tuesday and Thursday, or a Monday and Wednesday. So I'm not going to, there are several variations, in other words, of my class, required classes versus optional classes. So I'm not going to go ahead and say anything for that. All I'll say is everyone, all these classes, you're starting this material in class sometime between the 19th, 20th, or 21st or so. And you have to have it finished by somewhere between the 26th until the 30th or so. And your Windows 10 exam will again be, depending on your class, somewhere between the 26th and perhaps the 31st. Okay, so how do you figure out when your exam is? Well, obviously you look at your schedule of activities, or you go to MindTap and look. Okay, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and go on over to MindTap and start doing this demonstration. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me get this thing set for us. Share. Okay, and when this thing pops up, I'm going to make sure that I am recording. I am also going to make sure that I am sharing my screen. I am, and I've got my mic on. I am. All right, so I'm going to go on over to MindTap. Okay, so MindTap is student start here. Remember, you click that link there. I'm going to make these a little bigger because I want you guys to see it. All right, so you go students, click here. Remember, your registration, no matter which class you're in, is already over. If you have not registered, you need to drop the class. 98% of your class grade, everything except your bio post, comes from the MindTap site. Okay, and this is the MindTap site once you've registered. All right, so remember, do not pay attention to the dates. This is for class 202, reference number 2022. So in their case, the Windows 10 training is due on the 30th. Their exam is due on the 31st. Their training unlocks on the 19th. Every other class will be different. But when you go to your MindTap site, you'll look at when your Windows 10 training is, when your Windows 10 training is due, when your Windows 10 exam is, and when your Windows 10 training unlocks, and when your Windows 10 exam unlocks. Okay, so that's the basis for everything. But everyone will be doing the exam only during their required live class session that I say it's going to be. So in the case of this class, the reference number 2022, they're taking the exam at 6:05 p.m. on Monday, January 31, and it's due 70 minutes later, but no later than 7:40 p.m. on the same night. So they have to access it from class. Again, every other class, for my other students, you just look at your Windows 10 training, when it unlocks, when it's due, when the Windows 10 exam unlocks, and when it's due. Okay, but the Windows 10 exam is always during class. All right, so I'm going to go into the training. And I'll tell you that the Windows 10 exam is literally based on these, okay? And you're going to see right now how many tasks there are. So you see there's 21 tasks, okay? And if I want to show them all, I had clicked on a couple of these just to start this, and then I forgot to hit my recording, so I'm going back to it now. So I'm basically going to go back to this task here, shut down Windows 10. I'm going to demonstrate more or less 7 of these 21 tasks. And you guys have to do all 21. Okay, you must do the apply mode. All right, the apply mode is the one that's like the exam. You have to do it on your own. You get exactly 2 tries to do it on the exam, But on the apply in the training, you can take 1,000 times if you need to understand how to do it. And if you want to practice it hundreds of times, you can. But on the exam, you'll get exactly 2 tries, okay? The observe and the practice are for when you don't understand what the task is asking you and you don't know how to do it. So you can then just click on the observe or click on the practice. The observe will play a video, okay? And each of their videos, there's like 1 video for each of the 21 tasks, and they're no more than 1 minute each, okay? The practice, and they tell you what to do, and then they do it for you. Because some of these tasks may have 2 or 3 subtasks in them, okay? All right, so the practice is the same thing as observe, but when the lady narrator tells you to click a particular button or a particular tab or a particular object, then you have to do the clicking, but she tells you which to click and what to do. And then in the apply, you just have to do it yourself. So I'll demonstrate here, obviously, on most of these from the apply, but perhaps 1 or even 2, I'll go and do one of these other modes. So shut down Windows 10. Now, if this was the exam, you'd get 2 tries. So if I click anything on the taskbar, I'd get it wrong, just to let you know. And by the way, I'm in a virtual machine. You see how I'm up here in the top of this pop-up box, but this is a virtual machine. So if you're using a Mac, or if you're using a Linux device, or if you're using an old Windows machine that's like old, or you're using even a mobile phone, I mean, whatever you're using, you're running it in Windows. In this particular case, Windows 10 is what is being run, regardless of what your operating system on your computer is, okay? So here's the start menu in Windows. To shut it down, basically, you click the start, and then this is the power button. You click the power button, and they say shut down, so you click shut down. So if I click sleep, that's a mistake, right? So it'll say task incorrect, try again. If this was the exam, I'd get exactly 1 more try. But this is not the exam. So I can click over here on Microsoft Edge. That's incorrect. I can try again. I can click the File Explorer folder. It's not right. I can try again. I can click the Windows Store. I can, again, get it wrong, but try again. So that's like 4 mistakes so far. Now, from my Start menu, I can also make mistakes by clicking like on Outlook. Okay, incorrect. I can click on Alarms and Clocks. Incorrect. All right, but if I click right here on the power button and then I click the right one, shut down, it'll say, yeah, you got it right. Okay, so remember, on apply in training, this is training, you get as many tries as you need to understand it. And I highly recommend that you do each of these activities at least 4 or 5 times, particularly the activities that you don't understand. You can also write down notes on any of these activities that you do not understand, and you can use those notes on the exam. Okay, so please pay attention and you'll be a-okay. So I'm going to go back to the start and go back to task 2 because I didn't do that one either. So here it's sign in to Windows. So sign in to Windows 10 as user 1 and use Windows in lowercase as the password. So you see there's a couple things to do. One, you have to click on the user 1 tab over here, user 1 user. You know, there's an other user, there's a user 2, and you can see we're on user 2 because that name is above the password box. And you can see it's sort of selected over here, okay? But we have to sign on as user 1 and type Windows in lowercase as the password. Again, if this was the exam, I'd get exactly 2 tries, okay? But in training, I can get it wrong many times. So I'll type in the right password, but I'm using the wrong user, okay? So I'll type Windows, okay? Now, when you click, when you get a task, by the way, the instructions, you can move the instructions just in case it's in your way. And when you type something, you can click right here to see what you type if you hold that your left click button, your left mouse button in. Okay, you see it says Windows, and that Windows is the correct spelling. So that would be correct if I click this submit button or if I enter it, all right? But it's going to be wrong because it's not user 1. Okay, so it'll be wrong, incorrect, okay? Now I'll show you by going to user 1. So now it's the right user. I just clicked on the user 1 over here so that you see now a blue background. but not on user 2 or other user. User 1 is right. But now I'm going to spell Windows with a capital W. And again, I'll show you what I spelled by clicking here with my left mouse button and holding it down. See, it's Windows, but a capital W. That's not Windows with a lower W, which means it's wrong again. Okay? Incorrect. So if that was the exam, I would again get that wrong. Sorry. Okay? Now, I want to make sure it's Windows in lowercase. So now I typed it again, and now I'll show you what I typed. Windows in lowercase as the password. So hit my little submit here, or you can also hit the enter button, I believe. I'll hit the enter button. It also worked. Okay? All right. Now, start the alarms and clock app from the start menu apps list. So again, remember, we're on in a pop-up box. It's called a virtual machine running Windows 10. So your computer is, sorry about that, your computer is all around that, but this is where, what we're doing is done, right? And remember, you can move the instructions wherever you need to. So the start menu is right here. I also have Windows on my computer, and I'm using Windows 11. So my start's not quite as much to the left as it used to be in the old days. But anyway, this is Windows 11. Okay, so it's a little bit different, but it's not the right one. This is what I have to use, the one in my pop-up window. So I click here, and then it's telling me to start the alarms and clock app from the start menu apps. Well, here are all these apps. See, it goes all the way down. It's in A through Z order, and on top actually is numbers. So there's no numbers. Sorry. All right, most used is up here. And then any that start with a number, like 3D Builder, and then in alpha sort. So alarms and clock is the second one in the A list. So if I click this, it's right. Okay? This is a very easy exam, right? Now, start Word 2019 using the start menu. Okay? So again, what they're showing us at this point for the first X number of these tasks is the start menu. They may have us also do something in the start search list, and they may have us do something by right-clicking. They may have us do something over on the bottom right, which is where notifications are, which is where your network is, and which is where your volume is, and which is where your time is. Okay? But right now it's start Word 2019 using the start menu. So again, it's pretty easy. So I'll click here in the start menu. You see Word, it's up here in the most used, but if I scroll down, it'll also be in the sequential W list for Word. So you can use either of them. If I click Word here, or I click Word here, either one is going to be correct. Okay, and I'll click it here. Okay, correct. All right. Now they're saying switch to Excel to display the open workbook. So because they're saying it's an open workbook, that means it's somewhere already on this, in this pop-up window, all right? It's already here. Well, the task bar is where things are, and this is the task bar. So this is called the task view. This is called the file explorer. This is called Microsoft Edge. That's like Google Chrome or Safari or Firefox. It's just a browser. This thing here is Windows Store, sometimes called the Microsoft Store. Here is an open Word document, okay? And here is an open Excel file. Let's move this thing up again so we get it out of your way. Okay? So this right here is the open Excel file. This is the open Word file. So the instruction says switch to Excel to display the open workbook. Since they're not asking me to create a new Excel file, like if they said open a new Excel file, they might want me to come over here and click Excel. Okay, and it's possible they'll let me do it anyway. As a matter of fact, I'll try it just to see. But since they're saying switch to, I think they want us to just click this one because it'd be one step. We're up here, it'd be two steps. Let's see. So I'll click here. Incorrect, see? Because here, it would then ask me what I want to do after that. But here, it's just, that is the view we want. It's called Rockland Financials. It's the open workbook. So I'm just going to click it. And of course, that's correct. All right. All right. Now, display the desktop without minimizing or closing any windows. So again, here's our instructions, right? So they want me to show the desktop without minimizing or closing any windows. So this here would be minimizing a window. This here would be expanding a window, and this here would be closing a window, all right? Everything else is over here. You see there is a desktop icon for this PC, and you can see that right now we're in documents because it's got like a gray border, a gray background. So this would be a right selection, but is there another selection? I know I can go to task view, and from task view I can click desktop, which would then be over here, but they're saying display the desktop without minimizing or closing. Well, that wouldn't close it. So I think I technically could do this and then click desktop, which would be over here. But I believe they want me to do this one. Okay. But let's let the observe work for us on this one. Okay. So here's the observe mode. This is the lengthiest mode, and you won't get this on a test. Okay. You don't get the observe mode. You don't get the practice mode on a test. You're getting really what's called the apply mode, but without any hints. Okay. So I'm going to click observe to show you what it does. So you click observe, then you have to click the play button.
For instant access to the desktop without having to close or minimize open windows, use the Show Desktop button. In the notification area of the taskbar, click the Show Desktop button. Windows minimizes the open windows and displays the desktop.
Okay, so that's all that it was to it. I thought they actually would have wanted us to do it from the start menu, which was up, but they're wanting it to be without you clicking anything else. And technically, way over here, just that little line thing is show your desktop. So let's do the next mode, which is practice. So in that mode, which was called observe, she did everything. She told us what to do, and she did it for us. She meaning the narrator. Okay. This time it's going to be the same video, the same audio, but when when we have to do it, she's going to say, more or less, you do it. Okay. So here's the practice. And again, you click the play button.
For instant access to the desktop without having to close or minimize open windows, use the Show Desktop button.
Now she's going to
show where to click. In the notification area of the taskbar, click the Show Desktop button.
So over here is the notification area, and this is what she wants us to click. You can see that little red border around it. So if I click it, then
Windows minimizes the open windows and displays the desktop.
Okay, so that was now done. So she did the observe, she did the practice because I asked her to. I mean, I clicked the buttons, right? Now I'll do the apply. Okay, the apply, remember, in this case, would be this way on the exam, very similar to this, but I'm going to do it where what I think would also work to give you hints. So I'm going to click this desktop here just to see if it does work. Oh, it's not going to. Actually, it's not letting it click. Why? It's not clickable. That's interesting. Okay. So I really thought that would do it. And if I click start just to again look at things, you'll see what your choices are. But if you go like D looking for a desktop, there isn't one because it's on the taskbar. But you have to go into this task view. I'll show it to you from the task view. Oh, they were saying it's wrong before I even get to it. But it'd be in task view, and then right here where my cursor currently is, it would show desktop. Okay, so not allowed. So we have to do it from this button right here. All right, so we do that. Now, oh, am I not on it? Okay, so just be careful on that line, but you notice that it did let me do it. All right, so now this will be the last one that I'm going to do, but these 21 is the emphasis or the gist of what you're going to be taking a test on. Now, there's different scenarios. They may have a few more questions, or I may have a few more questions. But this is 21. You definitely won't have more than 25 tasks, and they'll all be similar to this, the training, meaning that you're doing. All right, so here it says, resize the settings window so that it covers the right side off the desktop. So resize the settings window. This is the settings window right here. See this thing here, okay? And they're saying so that it covers the right side of the desktop. Generally speaking, in Windows computers, if you have something open, let's say it's a Word document or an Excel file as an example, you just click right here and you can take it click right here and then drag it and bang it to the left or bang it to the right, and then that will, whatever that that document was, will take up half the screen. So in this case, and remember, this is the screen we're talking about, the pop-up, right? Not your screen. So she's saying it covers the right side, so I'm going to click right here and drag to the right. And once I let go, okay, did not, okay, did not do it. It actually should have done it, I thought. Okay, so let's do it with the practice.
Resize a window to view a larger or smaller portion of the content. You can use this method to make room to view multiple windows at the same time. Point to the right border of the settings window. The pointer becomes a two-headed arrow. Press and hold the left mouse button and drag to the right to make the window larger, and then release the mouse button.
So because it's the practice, I have to do it. So she's saying the right border of the settings window. You know it's the settings window because it says settings right here. So she wants me to click here, and then she said to hold the mouse down, okay, and drag it to the right. But this is not going to the right. I don't think she means here, but I guess I'll try it, but I'm pretty sure it's not it.
The window covers the right side of the desktop.
Okay, that's definitely not the way I would do that. I'll show you when I'm practicing your word training to demonstrate it. Maybe I'll even show you actually before I get off the, I shut this training session over today. But let's just do the apply that way then. So what I would do again, and I'm going to demonstrate this with a Word document, is click here and drag it over. And once you release, it'll then take up half the screen. But she said, take it right over here where you get this view, and then just bang it to the right. And then you've completed it. Okay. So that is going to be it for me. Remember, you have to do the other 13. I mean, you have to do them all because you have to get credit for them all. And by the way, remember, apply is the default mode. Maybe I didn't even mention that. The apply is the default mode, meaning that's the one you must do. So if you don't know how to do any of these, let's just pretend, and you watch the observe or you do the practice, you still don't get credit for anything. You only get credit if you do the apply. So please note that. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is stop this training. Okay. So I'm going to click this to stop it. And I'm going to get out of this window. You would have to obviously finish it. But I'm going to show you with a Word document. I'm just going to open Word. Okay. So I'm going to open up Word. Okay, so it's saying right here, this is just a little demonstration document. So watch, I'm going to take this document right here and bang it on the left first. Okay, see now what it did is because I have more open documents though, so I've got this little picture here. I've got my summer schedule here. I've got more MindTap pages, and I've got a file explorer. So because I have all of them, it just split them all into all of these, okay? But if I wanted to, and I didn't have anything else, then the Windows, the Word one, by slamming it to the left or slamming it to the right, you'd get exactly half of what you see here. This thing here is showing one document, but big, so that it's splitting the view, okay? But that's what we would do. And normally, if I had two documents open, that's how you compare. You know, let's say you did one document and then you want to edit it later. So then you would bang one of it to the right side, one of it to the left side, and then you just go down each and you'll see where you are. And when you make a change, when you see a spot that you have to make a change on, you would then make the change. Okay, so that is that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop our training. You see, it's not too much, but you know, it's going to help you do very, very well on the exam. There's no reason not to get 100 on the Windows 10 exam. So please pay attention. Do your trainings, do them 4, 5, or 6 times, and especially the last day or two before the exam, make sure you go back and do it again or a couple more times. You can write down notes. I let you use notes on your exams. All right, have a great day. So I'm going to go over here now and stop my recording.